What's up? We are here. We are here. And I'm going to tell you what, as a host, right? As a host, let me break it down. I've only been doing this for 4 weeks, but let me tell you, as a host, it's very important for you to have a good idea of what is about to happen, right? It's very important, especially when I'm hosting a television show, right? You've rehearsed, you've practiced, you know step by step what's going to happen. A matter of fact, on most television shows, almost actually every television show I've ever been a part of, you know exactly who the guests are. You even know what questions you're going to ask the guests. Like everything is broken down. Today, we are in complete unknown territory. I like experimenting. You know, I like experimenting. And today we're about to experiment with something new. So first up though, before I tell you about how we're going to experiment, get ready because today's a Better with Paul Tribe Day. So we're going to have some folks on the screen with us. So first though, you know, I have to show love. I see my man, Sebastian. What's going on, man? Sebastian says this is his vitamin M being motivation. Every time I see Sebastian, I feel good. So I feel good right now. Every time I see my sis, Kim, I feel good. Every time I see this man right here, the event planner, right, of the century, I feel good. I just feel good. Judah, I see you. Let me go to my LinkedIn, I see you. Talisha, I see you. Kemi, I see you. Tasty, I see you. Yvonne, I see you. Abe, I see you. I have to see this. My sis Tasty Blackman from Jamaica is on. She's on LinkedIn. I want to tell you a story that I think is pretty funny. Tasty, I hope you think this is okay. So this is Tasty Blackman. Her first name is Tastey. Actually, let me put it up. This is Taste. Can you see that? Okay, there it is. So this is Tasty. Okay, this is Tasty. So now this is Tasty. I hope you appreciate this story. So Tasty signed up for Knowledge Share, which a lot of people have signed up for Knowledge Share. And Jill and myself have been really critical to make sure that it's just quality, right? We don't want anybody in that's not quality. Now, a part of vetting for quality is, so we look at every single email, and a part of vetting for quality is looking at spam. So Jill saw this name come in, right? Tasty Blackman. And she said to myself, can you believe people are spamming us like this? And I said, what? She said, look, this person said their name is Tasty Blackman. She's like, Tasty Blackman? This is spam, right? So Jill goes to delete it. And I said, hold on for a second. I think this is a real person. I've communicated with her before. I think this is a real person. So we went all throughout LinkedIn, all throughout everything to make sure that Tasty Blackman was a real person and not just a tasty black man. So I'm sorry, but I had to tell that story because quality is everything. Quality is everything, guys. All right. So now here's what's going to happen today. Here's what's going to happen today. All right. What's going to happen today is someone said that they need the knowledge share information. I'm going to share more about that, but I want to get right down to business. The other thing too that I want to mention is for those of you who have participated in Better with Paul in the past, you'll know that I flashed this up right now. This is for you to join our newsletter list. I send recaps. I'm going to send recaps of all of the sessions. So if you want a recap of the session, just enter your information here. If you've already signed up, check your inbox. This morning, I sent out the presentation from 56 ways to create more income. I sent that out this morning. I'm working on a massive surprise. I couldn't get the surprise done by today. It will be done this week. So check your inbox later this week for another surprise. But the presentation is there right now. So make sure that you join here, and that way you can get recaps of everything. And then also, I'll share more about Knowledge Share later. But just so you know, we're very close to launching the website for Knowledge Share. Very close. All right. So here's what's going to happen today. All right. Today is going to be a big day. Today, what we're going to do is we are going to host a mastermind. All of us, we're going to host a mastermind. And I don't know how this is going to go. So let's see how this is going to go. Now, in a little while, I'm going to flash on the screen the URL for you to join the mastermind. And what a mastermind basically is it's for you, for a certain number of people, right, to sit on the hot seat. So we're going to look at everybody one by one today. And it's our goal to figure out what is the most significant problem facing you as you grow your business, or what's the most significant problem facing you as a brand as you grow your brand, right? This is the idea. What is the most significant problem? And then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to give you 1000% of my attention to try to figure out what I can share with you to help give you an answer to that problem. And then the beauty is that we have over 1,000 people watching, right? Over 1,000 people watching who will also be trying to figure out how they can give you insight, right? How they can help to resolve your problem. Now, here's the beauty. The beauty is that maybe we don't resolve the problem immediately, but I guarantee you, me plus the 1,000 people who are watching, we will have resources for you. We'll have, people for you to contact. This is going to be a masterful opportunity for us all to connect and help the person that we see on the screen. I'm going to try to get through as many people as possible, but quite honestly, we'll probably only be able to touch maybe between 4 and 6 people, because I want to make sure we're giving everyone, the most amount possible. Okay. So this is how the mastermind is going to work. I'll flash the link on the screen. I'll allow 5 or 6 people to join the queue. You'll sit in the queue. I'll bring you on one by one. And when I bring you on one by one, and I'll give you the directions in a second, but the whole goal is you'll come on the screen and you'll present your problem, and all of us as a community will try to figure out what the resolution is to that problem. Right now, this is going to be of huge benefit to the people who come on the screen, right? Clearly, this is going to be a huge benefit to the people who come on the screen. But let me tell you something. I firmly believe this. This session is going to be of more benefit to you. And when I say you is, if you don't come on the screen, this is going to be of more benefit to you. And let me tell you why, right? I think that so I've been doing masterminds for 10 years, right? And what I've noticed is that when you see so it's called the mastermind because minds coming together to help support one person, right? Most people think it's only the one person that gets all the value. But the people who are on the outside giving the insight, they actually come away with more value. And here's the reason why. You all today are going to learn how to better analytically think, generally, but analytically think about your business. You're going to learn to become a better critical thinker of your business. And then 3, you're going to learn to become a more creative thinker. And I guarantee you this, the better analytical, critical, and creative thinker you are, the better business you're going to build, the better brand you're going to build, all right? Now, let me give you a quick example of the difference between analytical, critical, and creative thinking, because there's a massive difference between these 3, massive difference. And a lot of people don't realize. And the best prop I could use, can I use this prop? Does anybody want to guess what prop I'm going to use for my analytical, critical, and creative thinking? Does anybody want to guess on LinkedIn? Anybody want to guess? All right. Anybody want to guess on Facebook? Anybody want to guess on YouTube or Periscope? What prop do you think I'm going to use to demonstrate the difference between analytical, critical, and creative thinking? Now, you know me. All right. So Sherry says a map. Sherry says a map. OC says it's going to be fruit. Okay. Renee says it's going to be a cell phone. All right. Kim says it's going to be a Jamaican flag. All right. Let's see what LinkedIn thinks. LinkedIn thinks it's a PowerPoint. Tamika thinks it's going to be a PowerPoint, which is interesting. All right. So I see triangle. I see Jamaican flag. My man Marshawn says, I'm scared of the prop. I can't believe no one guessed the prop. I can't believe no one guessed the prop. All right, guys. To show you the difference. My sis says a pen on YouTube. She says a pen. Okay. To demonstrate the difference between analytical thinking, critical thinking, and creative thinking, I'm going to use none other than a frozen Jamaican patty. Okay. I'm going to use a frozen Jamaican patty to break down the difference of analytical, critical, and creative thinking. Yes, that's how Jamaican I am. I'm going to use a Jamaican patty to show you the difference. Now, most people don't realize this. What is analytical thinking? Okay, what is analytical thinking? Analytical thinking. So if I'm looking at it, what's a tasty, not tasty the brand, but what's a very tasty, patty? What does that really mean? If I were to analytically think about what is a tasty patty, I would think, oh wow, well, the flour that goes into the crust, or the curry powder that goes into the crust, or maybe it's the filling, or maybe it's how long it's baked, right? I would break down all of the components that go into a patty, right? All of the components that go into what I consider to be a good patty, I could break those down in my mind and say, this is how crust connects to the filling, that connects to baking, and therefore that equates to a great tasting patty. This is analytical thinking. By the way, most businesses don't know how, most business people, most entrepreneurs don't know how to analytically think. Think about this as it relates to your business. A lot of people say, oh, I want to start a business, but I don't know exactly how to start. Or, oh, okay, I'm going to launch my website, but then I don't know what to do next. Or, oh, I have a product, but then how do I set up where do I put my marketing? Do I market it before or after, right? There's all of these questions about the components and how the components fit together to create something great. This is analytical thinking. Today, we're going to work on your analytical thinking, okay? Number 2, critical thinking. What in the world is critical thinking, especially as it relates to a patty, right? Critical thinking is when you take information from outside of the domain, right? Information outside of the subject that you're focused on, and you apply it to the subject that you're focused on. So we're focused on a patty, right? This is a patty. But how does information outside of me knowing about patties impact how good a patty is? Well, my wife is from the southern United States, right? She's from Virginia, deep South Virginia. I'm going to tell you what they know about in deep South. They know about cooking sweet potato pie. They know about sweet potato pie. They know about apple pie, right? They know about cooking crust. They know about the flakiness and the softness, but yet delicately hard. They know about this, right? So the fact that I'm obsessed with, right, the sweet potato pies and apple pies, right? The fact that I'm obsessed with that crust, I can realize, wow, some of the key to great crust is having a good balance between the shortening, the water, and the flour. It's all about that balance. You got to get that right balance. So therefore, if I want to create a great patty, maybe I could take that knowledge and apply it over to this, right? That's critical thinking. A lot of businesses, we don't critically think. What you have to realize is that no matter what industry you're in, if you're a business coach, if you're a videographer, no matter what business you're in, chances are the problem that you're facing has already been solved in countless other industries. The key is to go to another industry, go to another market, and figure out how you can take a solution from that problem and bring it over to your industry, right? That's critical thinking. All right. So now I see you're still with me. I see you're still with me on this. All right. Now, my man's Marshawn says, great example. I like this. So Marshawn, I appreciate you liking the example. Let me take it a step further. Okay. I'm going to take it a step further. And oh my gosh. Oh my, look at this. This is perfect. He's listening to Boujou in the background. This is perfect. You don't even have to listen to me there. This is perfect. You got Boujou going in the background. All right. So now let's talk about creative thinking. And then we're going to start today. All right. This is very important. What is creative thinking? And I'm going to tell you this. I believe that 99% of entrepreneurs don't creatively think. Instead, they just go rip off what they see someone else do. I see this all the time, right? Oh, that's a good idea. I'm just going to do the same thing in my industry, right? Here's how to creatively think. When you creatively think, you are taking your analytical thinking plus your plus your critical thinking. So you're taking your analytical thinking plus your critical thinking and everything else that you know to create something new, right? Creative thinking is the mental process of creating something that's never been created before. That's what creative thinking is. It's the ultimate of the ultimate. And I guarantee you this, I guarantee you as an entrepreneur, if you can learn how to creatively think, you will win. You'll win big. Why? Because as an entrepreneur, what you're trying to do is you're trying to solve problems, but you want to solve them in a unique way, in a novel way, in a way that's never been done before. In other words, in a creative way. So if I'm thinking about this patty, for example, I'm thinking, okay, I want to create a patty. I want to create, now, by the way, this is real. I was literally thinking about it this weekend. So this shows you how I'm always thinking about different ideas. I'm sitting here, I'm eating this patty. By the way, this is an ackee and saltfish patty. I love, this is my favorite, ackee and saltfish. Now, I was sitting here, I was eating this ackee and saltfish patty this weekend, and I was thinking to my wife, I said, I was talking to my wife, and I was saying, Jill, what would be great? I love patties. I love the crust. I love the experience. I love how small it is. I just love it, right? But I also love sweet potato pie. Wouldn't it be incredible if we could take the filling of a sweet potato pie and put it into the crust of an exquisite patty? It could be a sweet potato patty, right? I was thinking about this, right? Now, I don't know if that's ever been done before. Somebody tell me if you've ever seen that done before. I have not seen that combination, by the way, but that is creative thinking. That's me thinking about the process analytically. That's me thinking about it critically, right? And that's me coming up with this idea, right? Look at that. Yeah, you can't look. That's just an idea. So the bottom line, I hate to have it's frozen, so I can't get into it. But the bottom line is, this is what analytical, critical, and creative thinking is all about. All right, that's what it's about. And when you participate in the audience of a mastermind, you get a chance to develop all of that, because you get a chance to think about someone else's problems, critically think about their problems, analytically think about their problems, and then creatively think about a solution which will help you. All right. So now, how'd you like that example, guys? Was that okay? Look at that. Was that okay? Was that okay? Was that example okay? All right. So now, here's what we're gonna do. All right. I'm about to bring actually one more question about patties. I'm just curious. Where's the best patty that you've ever had in your life? Where is it? Because I know there's a big Tasties, Juicies debate. Devon House, I've had some great patties there. In the UK, Jamaican Patty Co. Actually, this is shout out to Jamaican Patty Co. That's a Jamaican Patty Co. from the UK. Where have you had the best patty? I'm just curious, real quick, before we get going. All right, so now I'm going to bring on, let's say 5 people. Let's start with 5 people, because I don't know how long we'll go, because I just want to keep it to the hour today. All right. So now I'm going to flash this. I'm gonna flash this in a second on how to join. Remember, only join today if you are an entrepreneur or you're building your brand, your personal brand, and you definitely need help. Okay. And you're willing to be transparent with us, because part of being on the hot seat is it's hot, right? I'm going to ask you some very specific questions, and I'm not, my job is never to call anybody out. I never want to embarrass you. But if you don't know something that I believe you should know about your market or about your business, I'm going to tell you, right? That's what a big brother should do. It should tell you, should be honest with you. So I'm going to be honest with you. So only if you're ready to get on the hot seat should you come on the hot seat. All right. So here we go. You ready? On the count of 3, I'm going to drop it. I'll take the first. How about this? I'll take the first 6 people, but I'm only going to commit to see 4 of you. Okay. I'll take the first 6 people. I'll only commit to do 4, and then we'll see where we are with regard to the time. All right. And you could have been a past Better with Paul guest, by the way, Better with Paul tribe person. You could be in the past. So this is open to everybody. All right. So here we go. Bam. There it is. All right. That's the link to join. Go ahead and join. Go ahead and join. All right. My goal is for us to get some breakthroughs today. My goal is for us to a breakthrough. And remember, when I say a breakthrough is if you have a breakthrough in your business, that could change your life. That could change the life of your family. That could change the life of your family's family. That's the objective today. So I'm ready. I've got my pen, my paper, right? I'm ready to be an analytical, critical, and creative thinker for you. So now it's about the hot seat. Who's stepping into the hot seat, right? That's what it's about. So now, while folks are joining, let's go over. Someone said, "Can you put the link?" Someone wants to know if you could put the link in the chat. It's interesting. Let me see. Actually, let me see if I can see. I can't. Let me see if I can. Well, actually, I see people joining. So I'm sorry. I see folks joining in. But keep joining. Keep joining. I only see 2 in the queue right now. All right. I see 3 in the queue right now. Right. I see 3 in the queue right now. All right. So now let's go over how we're going to make this happen while folks are joining. All right. What we're going to do is I'm going to bring you on. Let everybody know your name. We have 4 in the chat right now. Let everyone know your name. 5 in the chat right now. Let everybody know your name. And then give us 2 minutes or less, 2 minutes or less about what your business is, what it is you do, what's your business model, and then give us what your most pressing problem. By the way, guys, we're full. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We actually have 9 people in the queue. So we're way full, guys. We're way full. We're way full, guys. So if you could stop joining, only because I can't see, I get all these these notifications. Thank you. All right, so we're full. So remember, you're going to join. You're going to tell us very quickly what your name is, right? Tell us what your business is, what the business name. Give us context within 2 minutes. Tell us what the business model is, and then present the problem. Present what the problem is. Now, here's suggestion for everybody watching: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. What I do with my mentees, especially when I run my mastermind, is before we even get to the hot seat, I normally have them read a book called Catalytic Questions by Hal Gregerson, right? The whole idea behind a catalytic question is it's a question that when asked, it destroys the status quo, right? It's a powerful question. Obviously, you don't have time to read the book and jump on the hot seat for everybody right now. So here's how I want you to look at this. Think about the question that you have, and then ask yourself why are you asking that question? And then ask yourself why behind the why of the question. Then ask yourself why behind the why behind the why. You see what I mean? The deeper you get into the why, the more catalytic the question becomes. Because quite honestly, you know what the answer may be? The answer may be, and I don't want to tell you this directly right now, but I will on the hot seat. The answer may be you have no business starting this business. The answer may be you don't have enough experience to start this business. The answer may be you don't have, the answer may be your solution is not good enough, right? Who knows what it is? So you want to ask yourself the why behind the why behind the why, right? The answer may be you're not motivated enough. Who knows, right? But that's a larger question to answer versus what ClickFunnels should I have, right? If you're asking me about ClickFunnels, right, or marketing funnels, sales funnels, but the real problem is you don't have motivation, a great ClickFunnels is not going to help you. Your problem is the motivation. So that's a catalytic question, right? So that's really what I want you to be focused on today. What are the catalytic questions you can ask? So you're posing one. So you're going to get on here, you're going to give us your name, right? Tell us about your business model, and then you're going to pose that catalytic question. And then I may ask you some Q&A. The audience, you guys ask some Q&A, and then audience, let's go in together. I want us all working together on behalf of whoever's on the screen. All right. So now, if you're ready, pop in there that you're ready. Let me see LinkedIn if you're ready. Facebook, YouTube, let me see if you're ready. And let's pull on our first person. Our first person, her name is Marilyn. I don't know if that's a last name or a first name, but I see in the queue her name's Marilyn. So get ready, Marilyn. Here we go. All right, here we go. I see the audience is ready.
Hey.
There she is.
Hi, I'm from the United Kingdom. It's Marilyn Devonish. The company, the business is the Transformations TM. And the way that I have summarized that is the NeuroSuccess coach, in terms of looking at how the mind and the brain will impact your levels of success. So that's me in a nutshell. The reason I got started in the business, I used to be painfully shy. I was diagnosed with what was thought to be early onset Alzheimer's in my 20s, found a way to overcome that. Decided to commit suicide at 32, found a way to overcome that. And really, what I've been doing for the last 20 years is helping people resolve those same sorts of challenges and issues. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay. All right. That's super, Marilyn. Thanks for the vulnerability in that as well. What is your business model?
Now, when you say business model, do you mean how do I work and kind of interact with clients?
So actually, Marilyn, I'm glad that you asked this, because you know what's interesting? What I love about this is an opportunity for us all just to be vulnerable, right, about everything. Whenever someone asks for a business model, really what they're asking for is, how do you make money? That's really the question. How do you as a business make money?
Okay, so I guess three different things. Before the lockdown, running in-person workshops. So the one that I run most consistently is something called photo reading and accelerated learning, hence all of the books behind me, and your personal development workshops. The second way is I do coaching and therapy online, and have been doing that for the past 15 years now. And I also started probably putting more time into that 4 years ago, running online video webinars. So people can take all of my trainings now, from 1 to 3 day trainings, online via video webinar. And those are the three main ways, I would say.
Okay, that's super. And so then, Marilyn, what is your question? What's the challenge that you have that all of us, by the way, the numbers are up right now. So what can all of us do? What is your catalytic question?
My catalytic question, if I were going to put it into one word, it would be expansion. So one of the things I would like to now do is reach a wider audience, because I have, let's say, a Word document which runs to 6,000 pages full of glowing testimonials, life-changing testimonials. Yet if you went to someone in the street and said, who is Marilyn Devonish, they would have no idea. So it's like, okay, what do I do to next level, particularly as the UK is not as large as the United States? That really is my question for today.
Okay. All right. I love this question, because this is a question that a lot of people have. Let me do a little bit, some Q&A, right? Maybe even a little pushback. Cool. And then we'll get, so what we'll do is we'll do this for a couple of minutes, and then the audience can jump in, right? So my first question is this: do you have any clue as to what your market share is currently?
No.
Okay.
No, that's not true. I can look at, let's say I can look at my metrics for things like brand mention and all that sort of stuff. And I can kind of do an SEO search, and I can put the terms in that I use most frequently, and it will tell me how I rank for those terms. So yes, I can do that. And I can do that on a UK basis, or I can do that on a kind of a global basis. So yes and no, I could go to those metrics and go, that's what the metric tells me. But in terms of what actually comes into me, that metric, like say I dominate 92% or 67% with one I looked at, I'm like, well, I can see the numbers, but that doesn't translate into what I'm seeing coming into my funnel. Does that make sense?
That does. All right. So now here's the reason why I started with that question, because your market share is actually not necessarily about how aware people are about you, right? It's not about your SEO or your following, etc. It is about how many of your target customers, what percentage of them are buying your products and services. And the reason why I asked that question is, quite honestly, is a bit loaded, right? So I was being a little bit bad.
You're messing with me there.
I was being bad, because the only way we all can answer that question is if we know who our target customer is. So think about this. To know your market share, you have to know who is your target customer, and then you have to know how many of those total target customers in the world buy from you. This is something that we all should know. We all should know. The reason why, Marilyn, I think you have to know this is because before you could start saying you want a wider audience, which suggests you want you want a different, different markets, right? You want a wider audience. Before you could even say that, you have to know, where are you? Because what I'm willing to bet it's not about a wider audience. For you, it's about deeper market penetration. That's what I'm willing to bet, right? I'm willing to bet you just have you've 0.0000001% of the market, but you need to go deeper. So let me ask you this question. Do you know who your customer avatar is?
Okay, now this is going to sound like a weird thing for me to say. It really depends what I'm doing. With the photo reading, for example, there's a different demographic there. With the coaching and therapy, there's a different demographic there. And that actually has changed over the last 20 years. When I first started, I was working with 70% men doing relationship coaching. Now I would say it's a complete flip, and it's 70 to 80% women in terms of next leveling. Okay, they've hit a plateau. How do they break through that and go from there? So depending on what hat I'm kind of wearing, and I think that could be a challenge as well. I've got a lot of hats. It would then depend on, okay, what's my avatar and who is the demographic for that?
Okay. All right. So right now, I tell you, I was going to go to questions, but Marilyn, I feel good on this. I'm not coming to your audience on this one. I feel good. I'm about to go in. Aren't you, Marilyn? All right. So now.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Here's the first thing. Your problem represents, I think, the problem that most businesses have. And that is, you had a product or service that you put out. You probably saw who it resonated with, and then you started serving that particular person. Then you put out another product, and whoever kind of gravitated towards it started consuming that. And then you put out a third product, right? Instead, here's what I would ask you to do. Out of these three, the in-person workshops, which you can't do right now, but the coaching therapy and then the online video webinars, I think you have to ask yourself, well, actually, let me ask you, which one dominates your revenue? The coaching therapy or the online video webinars?
Coaching and therapy.
Okay. All right. What's the demo for coaching and therapy?
Demo for coaching and therapy, typically women. I would say aged around about the 45, 50 mark, upwards from there.
Okay.
And women who have done a lot, achieved a lot. And one of the questions they might be asking, is this it? Where do I go from here? Or is this all there is?
Okay. So now what I suggest you do is, this is going to sound, probably bold, but I suggest you right now, you just put online video webinars on hold. Okay. Yeah. And here's the reason why. Because in a business, you can't be lukewarm and then start a lukewarm product and then start another lukewarm product. That's not how it works in business. The most successful business, what you do is you create one product that's hot, one product that is blazing hot. And then you create a derivative product, a product that's similar to that could more easily be blazing hot. The problem is that you have two lukewarm products. So what do you want? You can't start a third lukewarm product, right? It's going to be too much for you. Instead, what I suggest you do is you put online video webinars on hold, and then you tighten up your avatar. When I just asked you about the demo, right, which is the avatar, you gave me a range. You said it's a woman between 45 and 50. That's not a great avatar. A great avatar is specifically saying, my avatar, she's 45 years old. She lives in London, right? She has 2 children. And therefore, once you have your avatar down to the T, you know exactly who it is, that not only who you're going after, but who best resonates with your coaching. Then you could begin to just target her. And then when you target her, you're going to find out that there are going to be a lot of hers. So instead of going wide, you just go deep and you just focus all in on her. And that's what allows you to run, effective Facebook ads and AdSense. And, that allows you to show up in the right forums because you're just targeting her. Right. So, and by the way, I'm curious what everybody in the audience is thinking here, if they have other suggestions. But right away, Marilyn, what I suggest you do is I suggest you create, I think your biggest homework is you have to create an avatar.
Okay.
A matter of fact, I think I've done this before. I wasn't even prepared for this, but let me see if I can pull this up real quick. is while we're talking, actually, I tell you what I'll do. This will be easy. Is I'm going to include the, let me cancel this. I'm going to include an example of an avatar in the recap for today's session in email. Okay. Your homework, Marilyn, is to, one, create a single avatar. And then secondly, is you want to think about your coaching therapy and figure out how you could make that a hot product, a product that, or service that your avatar, that she can't live without. Because remember, if we are all creating products and services that our customer can live without, we shouldn't be in business.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to think about how you can create something so that woman, what's your avatar? Let's give her a name. What's her name?
Oh my God. The first name that comes to mind is not a Giselle. Don't ask me where that came from.
Okay. I like it. Okay. So you have to figure out how you can create something so that Giselle can't live without it. That's where your creative energy should be right now. It shouldn't be on widening the audience. Your energy needs to be in that critical thinking of what you can do to create a coaching and therapy service that Giselle can't live without. And guess what, Marilyn, you went through this process, right? Giselle will resonate with you. She'll resonate with your story. She'll resonate with your qualifications. So you want to figure out, how do you package that all up? And then once you've packaged that up and you know who Giselle is, then it's just a matter of the go-to strategy to get the product to Giselle. So my biggest advice here is, this is not about going wide. This is actually about going deeper. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough. Is that good? You feel good with that?
Absolutely. And I guess one of the things I'm going to be asking the audience, because I would love to know if there are some Giselles in the audience. I'm really curious to know, what do they feel that they couldn't live without at the moment? Okay, let me put it this way. In terms of the hot product, how would you go about refining that and making sure that it resonates with your audience, rather than me just thinking, oh, I think it's this? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. All right. This is a great question. Let's go to the audience on this one. All right. And also, let me tell you a way to do this as well, Marilyn, but we'll go to the audience. Is that one way to do this? This is why it's important to gather focus groups where you reach out to 5 or 6 Giselles that you know, and you get them on the phone and you just talk to them. Right? Or you survey them. This is why focus groups are very important when we're trying to create that hotness. But because we have over 1,000 people watching and we have some Giselles out here, so your question though, Marilyn, is what could they not live? Describe specifically, get real specific with your question, and then we'll have the audience try to answer.
I guess I'm thinking, okay, what is there something that, if you had seriously, I do actually have a wand here, but if you had a magic wand and says, look, I want this sorted, resolved out of my life so that I can move forwards, what is that? What's the thing that you would go, oh my God, if somebody was offering that, I'm on it, I'm there, I want it?
Yeah. Well, so here's the only challenge though with you asking that question right now, as I see it, is that you're going to get feedback from people who may not be your avatar.
Yeah.
And that way, and they're going to send you on a wild goose chase, right? So this is why it's very important, I think, for you. You have to first do your homework.
Yeah.
And you have to come up with the avatar. And then after you have that avatar, then show up in Facebook groups, show up in LinkedIn groups, and find the Giselles. And then here's your second homework. So you have to come up with your avatar. Then I want you to identify at least 6 Giselles and invite them on to a focus group call, a 1-hour call with you. And maybe you compensate them with giving them a Starbucks, a cup of coffee, that kind of thing. And then you ask them all of the questions you need. That's step number 2. And then 3, you create a hot product, a blazing hot product. And then step 4 is then you pro bono for free. You then test the product out on those women, on the Giselles, and then you get their testimonies. And then if it's hot, if they say I can't live without it, then you go to market with it. If they can live without it, then you tweak it a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Fabulous. And that is my strategy. Normally, I will get volunteers, get the feedback, get the testimonials, and then go, am I going to do it or not? So that is perfect. Thank you very much.
All right, you got it. Blessings. As a matter of fact, Marilyn, tell everybody where they can connect with you. Could you put your social in so everybody knows?
Absolutely. So I'll say it and I spell it because it's a weird spelling. It's transformationstm.com, which is a website. So www.trance, TRANCE, then F for Freddie, FORMATIONS, TM as in trademark. So transformationstm.com. And my email is Marilyn, MARILYN, at transformationstm.com. And the surname is Devonish, DEV for Victor, ONISH. Apart from Instagram, it's the NeuroSuccess Coach. So that's how you can find me. And I'll go back to the Facebook chat and I'll put my details in there as well.
Okay. Is this correct? Transformation?
Oh, trance, TRANCE. So
okay, I'm sorry.
Trance. TRANCE.
TRANCE.
Yeah. FOR.
Oh, transformation.
Trance. You know, I'm a hypnotherapist as well. So
okay.
transformationstm.com. That is perfect.
All right, super. So everybody be sure to support Marilyn here. Also, Marilyn, I would suggest there's a lot of people on LinkedIn as well. So I'd go to LinkedIn and add that in as well.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. We wish you the best. Come back and report back to us.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Excellent. All right, guys. That was great. That's exactly how it's going to go today. All right. Judging by the amount of time, I think that we may only be able to get to one or two other people. So just keeping it real with everybody. I think it may take a little bit of time, but I want to make sure that we respect everybody on the screen and go deep with them. So let's go to number 2 here. This is Sham is number 2. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Wait. By the way, there we go.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great. Hi, everyone.
All right. Super. So I tell you what, I'll pop off screen, let everybody know, full name, the business and the business model, and then your question.
Absolutely. And if I'm rusty, y'all forgive me. It's still a work in progress. So my name is Sham Wise, and I'm the co-creator of Sightseeing with Sandy. This is a concept for a children's series that came about when I was trying to educate my child on travel. And she was like, why don't I see anybody that travels like me? And I'm like, whoa. And so that made me step back and question a lot. So President's Day this year, she was out of school, and we just had a sit-down conversation after a trip that we took in California for business. And she said, I want to see the world. And I'm like, well, I can't show you the world right now all together at one time. Not like taking you there essentially, because I work. I'm a single mom. I work full time. She's in school. But I said, we can plan some vacations this summer and, for Christmas and Thanksgiving. But I said there has to be a more effective way of doing this. It's still fun. So when she went back to school that next day, I took off and I went to Barnes & Noble, and I pretty much just did research. I was trying to see what children's books out there exist with this cute little brown girl, brown boy, somebody that resembles my child, that is fun, educational, but not so fictional to where it's not attainable. So I didn't find that. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. So then I continued to do research. And most of the animated series and things that are out there, they have some part of fiction in them that's just so unattainable for kids, or it's not going to happen. Like Tiana turns into a frog for 85% of the movie, Princess and the Frog. And then you have Soul that was supposed to come out with Jamie Foxx being the lead, but apparently he's not represented as a black man for most of the movie. He is a blue blob, apparently. And then for Home, you had the character that Rihanna did the voiceover for, and she's 12 driving a car looking for her mom, and I don't think her dad was in the picture. So it's like each of these characters has something that they're working through, but it's also something I'm not just going to let my kid plop down in front of either, because she's still so impressionable. So yeah. I wanted something that she could grasp onto that would be teachable and that would be exciting for her. So instead of trying to find it when I couldn't, I created it. So we have a website, Sightseeing with Sandy, LinkedIn. I've posted several videos and promos and things like that that's advertising that. We just dropped the English and Spanish version of the first book this past Friday. And I just got my proofs in for the paperback. So I'm doing a soft release for friends and family and investors this Friday. And then next Friday, the paperbacks will be available on Amazon. And I also wanted to talk to you, Paul, because you just had someone on the other day that talked about books and getting them published, but we were able to keep the digital rights. And I know Amazon doesn't allow you to do that. So I wanted to get that information from you too. But I'm just trying to find out, how can I market this? Because my initial plan was to work with schools. But it's really hard to walk into any school district right now because the schools are closed. And for me, not being able to actually place my face with my proposition, I'm getting a lot back, like, is this spam? So some people are probably not even opening it because it doesn't seem like it's coming from a real person.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
do.
You know, Sham, I'm sorry. Let me just jump in real quick.
Sure.
So, and the reason why I'm jumping in is, one, just so you know, a lot of people are reporting that the sound is low, and I can hear that the sound is a little bit low, but I can still hear you though. By the way.
Okay.
So here's the question, right?
Okay.
The question is, you've created a business,
Yes.
Sightseeing with Sandy, right? This is a
Yes.
business.
Mhm.
What is your business model?
So right now, I have a book. I have a book that I'm trying to sell, and the distribution channel is basically through Amazon at this point. So you can either get them from Amazon or you can directly order them from me.
Okay. So now your business model. So now here's what I love about this. All right. What I love is that this is a great story. It's it's heartfelt, right? This is real. You've identified a problem in the marketplace, etc. You've come up with the solution, Sightseeing with Sandy, which sounds incredible. But when I asked you about the business model, you kind of looked up like,
Yeah.
I sell books on Amazon.
Yeah.
So here's the big brother, okay?
Yeah.
The big brother this is a nice hobby. But the question is, do you want to turn this into a business?
Yes.
Because if you want to turn this into a business, you have to approach this a lot differently than a hobby. Now,
Yes.
on the business side, there's no way you can sustain a business by selling a book through Amazon, right? There's like 0.00001% of people are able to do that.
Exactly.
So the question becomes, you've got to ask yourself, well, how do I turn this into a business? Now, let me think about this for a second. What do you believe is the biggest problem that you have right now that we can all try to solve? What is that catalytic problem that you have?
How I can market what I do have so that it can grow into a business.
Okay.
That's not my background. My background is science. So this is completely a different language to me, but I definitely am willing to learn and take any advice that's going to be helpful.
Okay. All right. I love it. I love it, Sham. And by the way, I love your vulnerability on this. So I'm very appreciative of that. Now, let me tell you this. This is another one where I'm not going to go to the audience right now because I feel good about what I'm about to tell you. Okay. Now, the audience right now, I'd love to hear what the audience says. So, like, I see somebody says she needs Carrie. Carrie, by the way, that was a gentleman from last week. Okay. People are like, she needs Carrie, right? Let me tell you this. I love Carrie, but you don't need Carrie right now.
Okay.
Right? You don't need Carrie right now. You don't need anyone. Let me tell you exactly what you need. Your problem is actually not how can I market this book.
Okay.
You know what the problem is? The problem is, who's your co-founder?
My 6-year-old child. I'm doing all this bootstrapping. I call it stiletto strapping because I wear heels.
That's your problem. Your partner is a 6-year-old child, right? This is the problem. What I think, more important than how can you market it, more important than that, you need a stone cold business partner. Because I could already tell. I could tell with the sweatshirt. I could tell how you have there. You're a creative. You're creative, right? Your ideas. You got the ideas. You know how to implement. You're probably great with design, you know?
Yes.
You said, admittedly, I'm not a business person. Well, here's the thing. You can't just immediately become a business person in the next week or two. It just doesn't happen that way, right? The quickest way. So you want the catalytic answer?
Yes.
The biggest momentum you can get in your business, your specific business, is to bring on a business partner who has either A, experience in the space, or business experience, and they're interested in digital distribution. Now, let me tell you something that I love. You are in the right space at the right time. You really are. This is a seller's market right now. I was on the phone with 2 production companies earlier today. Production companies, networks, they're desperately looking for content. And they're looking for a lot of content that Black and brown children want to consume. And they're not just looking at for book form, but they want streaming content. They want it on Netflix. They want it on Hulu, right?
Yeah.
You are in a good space. You have a good product. If you want to move this thing forward, you need a business partner. That's what you need. Forget everything else. Forget trying to figure out how to market it. Put a hold on everything. Put a hold on everything. And you just focus on finding a partner. Because here's the problem. The problem is your idea is so good. Guess what? There's 100 other people that are actually thinking about your idea right now. And there are 100 other people who are already executing on your idea right now. At least 100. So what you have to remember when you're a business person, when it's not a hobby, but when you're a business person, is that you're always in a competition. You're always in a race, right? There's a limited market share, and there are 100 or 200 or 300 people who are also out there.
Okay.
And it's not just you executing, it's you executing against someone else. They're racing. So you have to race. So instead of you spending your time on anything, I want you to, after this session, I want you to go about identifying a business partner. Okay? I want you to go about doing that. Now, here's my question. How does someone in this audience, this is a bold question. This is let's see if we can change it right now. Is there anyone in this audience who is a business-minded person, who has business experience and is interested to either advise or maybe interview with Sham to come on as a partner? I'm just curious. Is there anyone in the audience? Let's just see right now if we could do some matchmaking right now. I'm just curious. Let's see. Is there anyone in the audience? Just say yes. I just want to see you in the comments. Yes. Is there anyone in the audience that has? I see hands up. Maybe this is. I see LA Williams. Let me see. Oh, wow. Look, I see people. Christine Dixon. Oh, yeah. And I know Christine. I will advise her. She's an attorney. Yes.
That's what I need.
All right. I see my man, Trey John Harris. Okay. I see there's several people. So now here's what we'll do. This is real easy. I see some people on LinkedIn as well. So here's what I want you to do, Sham. Go into the, oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Marshawn saying, yeah, he donated to Kickstarter. Won an Oscar. You definitely need to team up. So yeah, these folks are saying that they're interested to help you as a co-founder. Man, Sham. I tell you what, this is what this is about. We got you. This is what it's about. You're gonna do it. You're gonna blow this thing out. You're gonna blow it out. It's going to be incredible. It's gonna be incredible. Okay. Oh no. You got it. All right. I tell you what. So here's what I want you to do. Everybody is ready. Everybody is ready to help you on this. So here's what I want to do. Let's make sure that we don't lose your contact information. Okay. What I want to do is first, let me put in either your email. Can I put in your email? Is that okay?
I have my LinkedIn, Shambrika Wise, sightseeingwithsandy@gmail.com.
Okay, let me see.
And then the website is just sightseeingwithsandy.com. And I have a subscribe or a contact us page on there, so they can contact me on any one of those.
Let's see. Is that correct? Sightseeing with Sandy? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So now for everyone in the comments that said you could help, I want you to go to this email address. Go ahead and enter how you can help. I saw Christine, my sister, who's an attorney. My man Marshawn, who's out in LA, right? Who's in Hollywood. Everybody who can help, right? If you just want to buy the book, you just go to that email. Okay, you just go to that email. That's one. Secondly, Sham, can you get into the comments? Because I see a lot of people wanting to assist. So you could get into those comments as well. Okay.
Is it just the chat button, or do you want me to go back to LinkedIn? Where do I?
Oh, you were in LinkedIn. I'm sorry. So
well, I have my phone on LinkedIn, and then I'm on my little girl's iPad, who I had to steal from.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, you should go to both, because there are people in LinkedIn and Facebook who are all trying to support you. So jump into both, and then I know they're going to reach out to you as well. And I'm going to tell you what, once you find that business partner, your business is going to it's going to look like a hockey stick. It's going to take off, because that way you could focus on what you do, what you love, the creative piece, and your business partner can focus on the business.
This has been so hard, because this is me, and I work full time, and it's so hard as a woman of color trying to enter this space, because I did a pre-accelerator, and you hear like, well, you have to devote yourself to this full time. I'm like, well, I can't, because my income is what supports me and my little girl. And it's like, that's the thing that people miss. It's not that women of color don't take trying to create businesses, that are fruitful, and that it's not important to us. But for those of us that do have somebody else to take care of, we can't ever lose that for a priority. So I really appreciate you, because it's so many people that don't see my potential. They just see what they may consider to be a hurdle or a barrier that I can't cross. But I can. It's just I haven't been given that chance. So thank you so much.
There, you got it. We're behind you. Your idea, I tell you what, your idea is brilliant, right? Your passion is brilliant. Look, you're on here in the middle of the day on a session to learn about the business side of it, right? You've got it. You know what I love too is the key is, and this is something that we all need to know, right? Is that we are stronger together. Every post I say we are stronger together. All of us, think about everybody who's on the session right now. If all of us decided to allocate our effort in supporting you, there's no doubt that you'll have a successful business in a year, right? This is what we need to do as a people, is we need to know that we are stronger together. So you got the support. I mean, I see lots of people out here wanting to support. Keep me posted. Let me know how everything goes, right? And all I have to do is say, get to work interviewing. You got a lot of interviewing to do. You got a lot of interviewing to do. All right, guys, everybody say goodbye to Sham. There you go. That was powerful, guys. That was powerful. And here's the thing, and also to everybody in the chat, one thing I have to say is I apologize to everybody in the queue. You're gonna hate me when I say this, but we are at time, because I promised that I was gonna stay to at time, and I know we only got to 2 folks. But let me say this. A couple things in kind of a wrap up. Everyone in the queue, I'm sorry. I apologize. But let me say this in closing to everybody, is that think about this. Think about what Sham just said, right? She has an idea. She is she's working. She has a daughter, right? She has limited time. And she's trying to do everything. She's trying to, how do I market the idea? How do I do that? How do I do this? I think that there's 2 big takeaways. One, the obvious takeaway, well, not the obvious, but I think the takeaway that we all see is that we can't do these things alone. We must reach out for help. And it's not just simply about going to a book or going to a podcast. We have to understand that there's a reason why the most successful businesses have 2 co-founders. Right? There's a reason for that. There's a reason why I never start a business alone. I'm always starting with my wife, or I'm always starting with someone else. We need to rely on others. Businesses are incredibly challenging to create. And typically you've got the creative minds and you have those that are not the creative minds. You have the business minds. So this is one. The second thing that I want to underscore here, and this is very, very important, is that look at how everyone was willing to help. Look at that. Sham's business is going to change, right? There's going to be endless support. I already know it. I already know her email is blowing up right now. Look at how people want to support you. The key to getting that support is being vulnerable, as Sham was, right? This is very important, is that you have to show up in your humility and your vulnerability and just say, look, I need help, right? I just can't do this alone. This is the reason why I do these sessions, and this is why I'm going to continue to do these sessions. I want to deeply apologize to everybody in the queue. I know we have 7 people in the queue right now. I have to go because I promised that I was going to keep these and not be so long. And also I'm working on actually a surprise for you all. I've been working all week on something that I want to get to you this week. It's for you, right? This is for you. It's free. It is for you. And I want to make sure that I get it finished this week. So that being said, I want to wish you all the best. We're going to continue to show up Monday and Fridays. I want to encourage everybody actually to share this video. I think that the emotion that came from Sham is something that everyone actually needs to see who's trying to create a business, right? And so I want to ask everybody to make sure that you share the video so that we can get more people with their eyes on it. And I want you to also remember to where is it here? Make sure that you sign up here to the newsletter for recaps, because I'm going to make sure that I am recapping the lessons from all of these sessions, and then I'm emailing out the recaps so that you have, my thought on the lessons. That being said, once again, I'm so sorry, guys, everybody in the queue. I'm going to keep supporting as much as I can, but what I'm doing right now is I'm actually taking myself away from this session, which we were on for an hour, but I'm going to focus actually on another project that I'm just going to deliver to you at the end of this week. And I think everyone will be happy. So everyone, stay strong, right? Stay safe. And most importantly, let's stay together. Let's continue to support each other, because when we are together, we are stronger. All right. So God bless you. And I'll see you on Friday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Take care.